Welcome to Triumph IAS. It's a daily mains practice question and answer series. This program is exclusively designed for UPSC CSE aspirants. In this video discussion, we will discuss UPSC CSE mains previous 25-year questions. Question number 1. What are the forces that influence ocean currents? Describe their role in the fishing industry of the world. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. An ocean current, such as California Current, Labrador Current, is a continuous, predictable, directed movement of seawater generated by several forces acting upon the water. Ocean water moves in two directions, horizontally and vertically. Horizontal movement are referred to as currents, while vertical changes are called upwellings or downwellings. The main body of the answer should be: ocean currents are influenced by primary and secondary forces which are given below. Primary forces. Number 1. Heating by solar energy causes ocean water to expand. Thus, near the equator, the ocean water is about 8 centimeters higher in level than in the middle latitudes. This causes a very slight gradient and water tends to flow down the slope. Number 2. The Coriolis force intervenes and causes the water to move to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. Number 3. Wind blowing on the surface of the ocean pushes the water to move. Friction between the wind and the water surface affects the movement of the water body in its course. Number 4. Gravity tends to pull the water down the pile and create gradient variation. Secondary forces. Number 1. Differences in water density affect the vertical mobility of ocean currents. Water with high salinity is denser than water with low salinity. Number 2. The temperature of the water, warm water and cold water, also influences ocean currents. Conclusion of the answer is: upwelling currents bring cold, nutrient-rich waters from the ocean bottom to the surface, supporting many of the most important fisheries in the world. These currents support the growth of phytoplankton and seaweed, which provide the energy base for fish, marine mammals, etc. Question number 2. Analyze the distinguishing features of the notion of equality in the constitutions of the USA and India. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. India and the United States share many resemblances, suggesting that their systems are actually not so different, although their ideological views toward individual rights and substantive equality have stemmed in very different constitutional regimes. The main body of the answer should be: India has developed a legal system that is possibly more similar to that of the United States than any other country in the world, especially in the field of constitutional law. The constitutions of both the countries guarantee alike individual rights. The Indian method toward affirmative action, as an example of a project to further equality, focuses on eradicating the continued effects of social hierarchy that have disseminated the inferior socio-economic status of some certain groups. The difference between these ideas toward equality can be illuminated by the focus either on the individual or on groups and the benefits individuals receive based on their position in society's hierarchy. President Johnson's recognition of the actual conditions of inequality, both the lived realities of individuals and the persistence of inequality among societal groups, would have presented a paradigm shift in the American civic religion. On the contrary, such recognition of collective disadvantage monitors India's approach to attaining greater equality. India's system recognizes the value of achieving substantive equality while also protecting individual. Conclusion of the answer is: freedoms and rights. An entirely individualist approach toward equality of opportunity can be found in early America and, to some extent, this formalistic approach persists till date. It negates that there are very different opportunities available to those born within an existing social hierarchy, and defends existing inequalities by referencing the formal equality of every individual under the law. Question number 3. What are the present challenges before crop diversification? How do emerging technologies provide an opportunity for crop diversification? Let's start with the introduction of the answer. Crop diversification is intended to give a wider choice in the production of a variety of crops in a given area so as to expand production-related activities on various crops and also to lessen risk. The main body of the answer should be challenges before crop diversification. Number 1. Inadequately trained human resources together with persistent and large-scale illiteracy amongst farmers. Number 2. Over 63% of the cropped area in the country is completely dependent on rainfall. Number 3. Fragmentation of landholding less favoring modernization and mechanization of agriculture. Inadequate post-harvest technologies and inadequate infrastructure for post-harvest handling of perishable horticultural produce. Number 4. Very weak agro-based industry. Number 5. Host of diseases and pests affecting most crop plants. Number 6. Poor database for horticultural crops. Number 7. Decreased investments in the agricultural sector over the years. Emerging technologies and opportunities provided by them. Number 1. Technologies like urea deep placement, UDP, polybag nursery farming, etc. in arid areas have promoted crop diversification. Number 2. Farmers can use weather tracking technology to get enough prior notice of frost, hail, and other weather events. Number 3. PM Krishi Sinchai Yojana has ensured access to micro-irrigation, per drop more crop, drip irrigation, sprinklers, etc. Number 4. Soil health management has helped ensure the right fertilizer usage, developing organic framing, providing GIS-based thematic mapping for soil. Conclusion of the answer is, agricultural crop diversification is an important stress-relieving option for the economic growth of the farming community. Crop diversification and inclusion of the new varieties can be one of the important technologies in increasing the farmer's income to a certain extent, if not double. The NFW is providing assistance under Crop Diversification Program for alternative crops demonstration farm mechanization and value addition. The scheme is a subchain of Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, RKVY.